everyone.
Is that recording?
As you can see, yes,
Oh.
recording.
Okay.
As you can see, we've got a bit of a different setting. This is to reduce the movement on my legs. As you can see, I've got an audience, which is little Sparky here, or Aqua. Sparky Aqua, as we call him. He's a little blue dog. You know, every day, one of the biggest questions that is asked is, what do people want for Christmas? I'll tell you what, I'm one of the hardest people to find a Christmas present for. Partly because I'm usually banned in December to buy anything. Anything that I want in December, Christmas present. If it's not arrived by for a Christmas present, straight away needs to be sorted out. And Christmas presents can come in a huge variety of forms, but sometimes showing a little generosity or even thinking of someone can be the best present of all. Like your pets, for example, getting a treat for them for Christmas, I guarantee you would make them your friend for life. Right, Sparky? Got a little thread loose there. Wreck-It Ralph has thought about more than just his friends or his games. This year he wants to think about people who are just like him. Hopefully he can make their Christmas as special as other people. This story is a Wreck-It Ralph story, and it's called Wreck the Halls. Ta-da! A sugar angel, Penelope Pond Sweets exclaimed proudly. Ralph smiled weakly. Penelope could tell something was bothering him. Hey Ralph, what's wrong? She asked. Ralph explained that for the first time ever, the Nicelanders had invited him to their holiday party. The party was great, Ralph told Penelope, but I kept thinking about how lonely the other bad guys must be. You're right, Penelope said. Let's throw the bad guys a Christmas party. Ralph's face lit up. He called a special meeting of the Badathons support group and told the bad guys how wonderful Christmas could be. Meet back here on Christmas Eve, Ralph instructed them. Ralph and Penelope wasted no time. They immediately began making gifts and decorating the perfect lollipop tree for their friends. That sounds nice. How are we going to carry all this? Ralph asked, pointing at the pile of presents. The same way Santa does it, Penelope cried. In a sleigh, of course. The friends headed to the Cart Bakery to create the perfect Christmas cart. One rocket-powered candy sleigh ready to go, Penelope declared as their vehicles slid out of the finisher. Let's get this thing moving. Ralph couldn't wait to get to the party. As they took off, he reached for the rocket switches, but his hands was too big. He snapped the switches in half. Only one rocket turned on, and the sleigh spun out of control. Penelope tried to regain control of the runaway sleigh. She is a driver after all, but even the most professional driver had to admit that it was no use. The rocket spiraled down until gloop, glop, it landed in Great Caramel Lake. The sleigh and all of the presents were ruined. Empty-handed and covered in caramel, Ralph and Penelope had to deliver the bad news to the bad guys. I've wrecked their Christmas, Ralph said. Penelope knew the crash had been an accident, but still, their plans were ruined. Time to face the music, big guy, she said, shaking her head. When Ralph and Penelope opened the door to the support group room, the friends' jaws dropped. The room was completely decked out. The bad guys greeted them with a big cheer. How did you do all this? Ralph asked in amazement. We spent the last few days getting everything ready, Sorceress said. Penelope and I made presents and trimmed a tree, but I crashed the sleigh. The sled, Ralph said sadly. I wrecked everything. Don't be silly. You got us all in the Christmas spirit, Satine said. You're the reason we're here, spending the holiday together. That's the best present of all. The other bad guys nodded in agreement. A wide smile spread across Ralph's face. Merry Christmas, everyone. And as they all celebrated late into the night, Ralph had to admit, it truly was the merriest Christmas any of them had ever had. It wasn't too long ago when poor Wreck-It Ralph was the one dreaming of being able to celebrate Christmas with everyone. It took one kind act to show him that he could be whoever he wanted to be without changing who he was. Spark is either an electrical dog or a water dog. That's why I called him Spark Aqua, because of his blue fur and because he makes me happy. I will have guests tomorrow who will make me happy on my situation, hopefully, fingers crossed. Of course, there's still a journey ahead, but the greatest Christmas present I can have is being with my family, no matter where they are. Have you thought about who's coming to visit you on Christmas Day? Make sure you've got all your presents. Time's ticking fast. But I know each and every single one of you has a special someone in your heart. So, from me to you and to all, a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.